All right. Good morning, everyone. So thank you for this opportunity. I have been living in Lancaster for 33 years. I had to think about my age. I've been here all of my life. I grew up on the outskirts of Millersville. So the Gabriel Park neighborhood was where I was raised in a two-parent household. And I matriculated through the school district of Lancaster and went on to study at Millersville University. So I've been here, I've been in the community. My family has lived in Lancaster City and both on the outskirts of Lancaster City. What I'm going to discuss with you this morning is something that I talk about frequently within my own family network or my group of friends that we share the similar, experiences. But I want to share it this morning with you, and I'm excited to do so because I've never been able to share it with a group of people that actually have a hand at this table that I'm going to be talking about. So growing up in Lancaster, I've been keenly aware that I am Black. When I was younger, just going to school, you get reactions from teachers all the time that they didn't notice you and you're the only Black person that's in the classroom. So you think to yourself, how did you not notice me? And it would be one simple thing that I grew up to know is the changing of hair. So over the years, I became very subconscious about my hair, not only that it's being touched often, that people don't recognize when you switch up the hair, but that when you go to businesses, they don't have products or things that really cater to your hair or things that you can actually put on. So going downtown Lancaster, there are a lot of little cute boutiques. I now have big hair. I walked into a store one time to buy something that I was like, oh, they have cute bows. My friend told me that they have cute bows. I walked in and the lady was just like, I don't think anything will work for you here. And she didn't even know if I was there to purchase it for myself, for a friend, for my child, anything. And I was just like, okay. I said, I was just like, what do you mean? And she was just like, well, you have like that big crazy hair going on. And it drew me back so far to think about all of my childhood and even were in the workplace where people have always almost made it invisible to who I was because I could not be recognized if I changed up my hair. And then to go into a place that sold something that should be for anybody, I thought, and to immediately be greeted at the door and told that it would not work for me. So that was something that I encountered. I honestly left the store because I was just like, I didn't want to spend my money. And then shortly after that, Issa Rae came up with, she said in a quote, she said, I'm rooting for everybody Black. And I felt that to the core of me after that. I actually switched up my clothing. I did not like to wear t-shirts a lot. And now my people, we sell a lot of t-shirts and I will buy t-shirts. I also noticed going back to hair, I worked with the homeless population a lot. And people are so generous with donating products. But our homeless population is not only constricted to the white population, it also serves our Latinos, it also serves our Native Americans, it serves our Black community. Our hair is different. And so I had a conversation with our donors at one point, and I was like, hey, is it possible that you can get products that our homeless children, our children in transition can truly use? And it baffled me that the people that I were talking to were in their 50s, their 60s, some 70, and they didn't get it. They were like, wait, why? And it's something that I dealt with since 3 years old, that these people that were almost 70 could not understand that we deal with this every day, that we deal with these differences with this simple struggle every day, lotions that will not work for us. So we walk into businesses and stuff is such water-based and we can't use that. and I talk to my friends and I'm like, did they do research? Like, do they know that this stuff it won't work for our skin? So it must not be a place for us because they have not done the research to make sure that it's an inclusive product that we can use. I can go on and on about stories that have occurred, but I also want to just touch on a thing about walking into places and not seeing people that look like reflective of our community. So I walk into places and there's nobody working, they're reflective of the community. And one time I got comfortable with one of the owners downtown and I I said, hey, I said, why are all the workers here, they're all white? I was just like, this store seems very eccentric. I feel like there's other people that could work here. And she said, they don't apply here. And my question was, so they're not applying, but you're also not seeking them out. If we're looking for students that are educated because you're worried about theft, which seems to be an overarching thing because I walk in stores and they grab their products or they walk and follow you. Why are we not going to Franklin and Marshall, where the population of our Black students is ever growing and they're ever educated there? And then I question, why are we not being more specific with, we talk about our poverty level and we complain and they say things about people living on poverty. Why are we not being intentional with our businesses, with going out and seeing those mothers that are struggling and asking them to come in and work at your workplace? So it's been very difficult to walk into stores downtown, to support stores and restaurants downtown when I do not see people there that look like me working there, when I know that it's possible. It's not impossible. We cannot truly sit here in this day and age, 2020, and say that people are not applying when we know how to seek. We know when we need something, we know how to go out and look. So that's kind of my little tidbit. I don't want to take all the room. I'm a speech comm major, so I can talk a lot, and I'm Baptist. So I'll share the room in the space, and I hope that something that I said resonates.
Good morning. My name is Toney Collins. I'm a business executive. I've been in public relations for more than 20 years. The last decade or so, I've been in the C-suite. My clients include multinational corporations, major universities, professional athletes, and celebrities. I've been in Lancaster now about 9 months, and one of the things that I did before moving to Lancaster was do some research and found that Lancaster is described as a place that is open, progressive, diverse, and diverse, and that I would be comfortable here in terms of my business practices. And I guess I would start by saying I didn't find that to be true, have not found that to be true. My experiences here, there are 3 experiences I want to relate. The first one is that coming from Washington, D.C., generally speaking, people are business casual, but I found that when I was dressed that way here in Lancaster, that people shied away from me. There was always the instance of getting on an elevator, generally with white women who would clutch their purses or shrink back into the back of the elevator, shy away from me in parking garages. One week coming back from Washington, D.C. after a business meeting, I was dressed in a coat and tie, and suddenly it was like I had just been discovered. People would say hello, reach out, smile, make eye contact. So it was very obvious to me that if I wasn't dressed in traditional business attire, I was being treated differently. The second thing that I remember is taking advantage of some of the shopping in Lancaster. I was visiting an antique shop on Queen Street, and I walked in and there was a section called Black Americana, which attracted me. And I went back to look at what they had, and what I remember most distinctly about it was that they had a porcelain figurine that was essentially what we used to call a lawn jockey. They had a porcelain figurine that was blackface, exaggerated Black characteristics, and it was a bank, and they listed that as Black Americana. I haven't seen that kind of art or artistic artifacts in years. Certainly didn't expect to find it in Lancaster, but there they were selling it and bragging about it being Black Americana. The last thing I would point to is one of the things that Lancaster brags about is its diversity in terms of restaurant and foods and its authenticity. My brother, who's a former bank CEO, came to visit with his family. We made reservations. We went to a local restaurant. The overwhelming feeling that I had while eating there at that restaurant was that they were very unhappy that 4 Black people were sitting at their best table in the middle of the dining room and taking up that space. there are too many microaggressions to begin to list, but I left that restaurant feeling that they certainly didn't appreciate our business. We're happy when we left, and I made it a point not to return. So the last thing I'd like to share is that I was asked once if I was going to move my business to Lancaster, and my practice is a little bit unique, but as I responded to that person and I said, business goes where it's invited and stays where it's welcome. And I, at this point, would not use that description to describe Lancaster. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hold on, let me turn my mask off. I'm sorry, I'm at work actually, in the YWCA building right at this moment. My name is Tyler Toney. I have lived in Lancaster for 34 years. My family was raised on Ann Street. I have went to Caskey High School through the school district of Lancaster. Been a patron of many businesses that have come and gone over the years. An experience I can refer to is actually recently and some things that have happened in my past. If you notice, I have a beard. I took my mask off so you could see it. A lot of places I go into, I get profiled and mistreated and microaggressions of all states and kinds, just because I have a beard. You know, I've been approached by people asking me, am I Muslim or anything like that, just because I have a beard. I have people, mostly older white females, cluster purses. I've had people walk farther away from me because I had a hood on, just because of the color of my skin. They don't know me. They don't know my mentality, who I am. If you know anything about me, I'm a loving person. I work with kids currently. I've been working with kids since I was 18 years old. I've worked in drug and alcohol rehabs for adolescent males from age 12 to 20. I've been working with kids for as long as I can remember. It's what I love to do, and it's hard to deal with these kinds of situations on such a regular basis, to a point where I kind of shy away from going downtown to shop or purchase anything if I can help it. I try not to eat downtown or purchase anything from downtown. It's extremely rare when I even venture into that area to purchase things. Here at the YWCA in our after school program, well, summer enrichment program now, there are times where we actually, before the COVID virus, would take the kids downtown. And even going downtown, you would have people look at us differently because we're walking in groups that are very diverse. It's not just all Caucasian children or minority children. It's a decent mixture, on top of the fact that sometimes we do split up into smaller groups. And a lot of those times I'll have Caucasian children with me, and you can just see the dirty looks people will give me because I look like the way I look, and have the students with me that I have, and people give me dirty looks or look twice just because I'm Black and I'm walking with students that don't look like me. I've had people ask me, you know, are these kids okay? What's going on? Even though I have my YWCA shirt on and everything, it doesn't matter. So it can be very deflating and frustrating. I have 5 children, well, 6. One is actually married now, but 5 in my home, and I never take my kids downtown for any reason because I don't want them to be mistreated. I don't want my wife and I to be mistreated. We've been disrespected, mistreated in many different ways. But what I can say is that there have been times outside of those instances where we have encountered good meaning people downtown, good businesses downtown. Unfortunately, as Jasmine said, I don't see a lot of people downtown that look like me. So it makes it not as welcoming for me to go into certain shops because you don't know the kind of attitudes and microaggressions you might encounter just by walking into a business. You know, I may walk into a business for kids clothing downtown. I have kids, so they're not always with me, and I get dirty looks. You know, what are you doing in here? You know, stuff like that. It happens. But there are also companies and businesses that have shown open arms to people that look like me. I've seen it, whether or not just be with me, but other people there being treated fairly. So these kinds of things are very troubling, but also I believe it can change if people are willing to open their eyes to what's really going on and not to judge people, you know, by the way they look. That's what I would say is don't judge people just because of the way they look. You never know the merit of somebody's soul, their heart, who they are, just based on their appearance. As Tony stated, you know, I like to dress appropriately for wherever I go. And even that I feel kind of judged by. I have to dress a certain way. I have to keep my beard as groomed as
Yep.
possible just so people don't judge me in a negative manner, because that kind of stuff happens so often where I feel on the defensive on such a regular basis because my beard or because I have a bald head with it, and people attribute bald heads and beards to people who are Muslim, and because there's so
Mhm.
many different prejudices towards people that are Muslim or celebrate that religion, you know, that people treat people who look that way like that. So, you know, I would just hope that the business in Lancaster would be more diverse in the people that they hire. There are people out there who would love to work at those kinds of places, especially places that are diverse, that are very open to everybody. You know, I've lived in Lancaster my whole life, and I can absolutely say that this place is not as diverse as far as the treatment of people that look like me and that are minorities. It's not been as diverse as people may give it credit for. There are patches and places in Lancaster that are that way, but for the most part, it's not that way. You know, wherever you go, not just downtown businesses, businesses all over are like that. And unfortunately, it's something that's been here since as long as I can remember. That's all I have to say. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.